Hello and welcome back to my channel, Stitch It with Rachel. My name is Rachel and this is Knitting Podcast episode number 8. I'm so excited. I've got quite a few finished objects to show you guys, some works in progress, and then a few small acquisitions and future plans to talk about as well. So a traditional knitting podcast style today. I wanted to take a second and say shout out and thank you to the few new subscribers that I've had in the last month. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad you enjoy the content I make. And without further ado, grab your stitching project, a beverage or a snack, and let's get into it. So starting off with finished objects, I have a finished garment, which I'm so excited about. We'll see how well I can show this while just holding it up. It's my step-by-step cardigan. Cardigans I feel like are so hard to show. I'll try to take some B-roll of me after this and stick it in or something so you can maybe see how it looks on me a little bit better. But she's done, button band and everything, ends woven in, all finished. This knit up so insanely fast. And I finished this it's been about a month since my last podcast, and I finished this maybe 2 weeks after that. I really focused on it. I think I finished it the second weekend of July. So yeah, it just flew off the needles. It was just the stockinette easy project that I needed, and I had a blast. I'm so excited to have just a super basic cozy cardigan in my wardrobe ready to go for as soon as the weather turns, which can't come soon enough in my opinion. I'm over summer. So super excited to have this finished. Again, I used drop Napal in the color Fog. I used the recommended needle size, which I believe was 5.5, but I'll attach my Ravelry project pages in the notes down below. This was my first time doing the double knit button band, and it was way easier than I thought it was gonna be. I kind of worked myself up over double knit button bands, and this was just an absolute breeze. I'm gonna try to bring this in so you can see kind of just how seamless that looks, and it just makes it look more store-bought to me in a good way, just very professional and well finished, which I really like. And the buttonholes on this side were again way easier than I thought they would be, so you can't see the buttonholes, which I like that they don't show when you're not using them. And then they're just little in Florence. This is, I'm sorry if I didn't say, the step-by-step cardigan by Florence Miller, and it's a free pattern. It comes with a full video tutorial. I didn't use the video tutorial until the button band at the end because everything else I knew how to do. But for the instructions for the button band in the written pattern are different than what she does in the video. In the video, she shows you how to do it without having to cut your yarn. Highly recommend it. Was not hard, and then I had no extra ends to weave in. So if you're gonna make this, I recommend watching that video and giving this way a try. I think it turned out great. Really happy with it. I could easily see myself knitting another one of these cardigans. It's just the perfect basic. I just love it. I'd be tempted, because it's an Aran weight. Sorry, my throat's a little froggy this morning. It's definitely gonna be very warm cardigan, Aran weight, and this is a wool alpaca blend. So I think I might knit one in a cotton yarn in the future to have more of a summer, spring appropriate kind of cardigan I can throw on. Even though it's thick, it still would be nice to have in the evenings, or and honestly I still wear cotton in the winter too because I tend to run hot. But yeah, love this pattern, would knit it again. Was easy, good instructions, all that good stuff. If you have any questions, let me know. But yeah, super excited to have this in my closet and ready to go for fall. So next 3 finished objects are all socks. If you guys watched last episode, you know I put myself in sock boot camp because I had way too many sock projects on the needles, and it was just getting really out of hand. I was like, okay, we gotta rein the chaotic energy in a bit. So I hardcore focused after I finished my step-by-step cardigan on my sock projects, and I finished 3. So first one are my Mermaid Avenue socks by Summer Lee. These turned out so stinking cute. There's that awesome mermaid like scale stitch texture, which actually looks really good in a speckled yarn. This yarn was in the colorway Mermaid by Sweet Tea Yarn, which is also known as like Molly Klein Design. I don't know like if it's still the same brand or if she was one and kind of switched to the other, but Sweet Tea Yarn / Molly Klein Design. They did a trunk shot at one of my local yarn stores a while ago when I picked this up. And so it just made the perfect yarn for this pattern. This was for a summer knit along at my local yarn store. It was a blast. It was so fun to see all the colors choices everyone did. Local yarn store owner also made some like fade sets, which I did buy the fade set, but then I decided not to use it. And so I saw some of people's fade set socks, which were so fun. Yeah, I love a knit along. I love the energy that comes with the knit along, seeing everyone's projects, being able to help troubleshoot, like all that kind of stuff. So that was a ton of fun. Only modifications I believe I did 2x2 rib instead of 1x1. I don't remember what's in the pattern, but I did 2x2 rib, and I did a different start, which I stole the idea from my local yarn store owner. She had started her socks with, and I think I might have talked about this in the last episode, so I won't dawdle on about it too much. German twisted cast on. Looks really nice, super easy, like it's very similar to a long tail. If you can do a long tail, you can do a German twisted cast on. And then that first round, instead of going straight into ribbing, knit every stitch to the back loop, and it just like did something to the edge. I'm gonna see if I can really get this up here so you can see. Like, I hope it's focusing on that because I can't see. But just made like a really like nice, tidy, like edge detail that I think looks really nice. Granted, down on my feet with the stitch pattern and the crazy yarn, is anyone gonna notice it? No, probably not, but I notice it, makes me happy. So really enjoyed those. I started these on July 1st, and I don't remember the date I finished them. I'll stick it down here below, or it'll be in my Ravelry notes. But yeah, these were a ton of fun. I love Summerlee as a sock designer. Obsessed with her book. Her I'm So Basic sock pattern is the first pair of socks I ever made. Like, I am a Summerlee stan. So highly recommend any of her patterns generally. So yeah, mermaid socks are done. One sock project done out of sock boot camp. The next pair that I finished, I'm so excited. These turned out so stinking cute. The shrimp socks have made a comeback. Shimply the best by none other than Stone Knits, the queen of colorwork sock in my opinion. And they just turned out so cute. So one of these I knit literally like a year ago, and then just never cast on the second sock syndrome. And so I picked this up 2 weekends ago and knit the entire second sock in 2 days. Like, it only took 2 days, Rachel. Why did it take you a year to knit the second sock in 2 days? Anyways, these were a blast. You can definitely tell there's some difference in my colorwork tension, I feel like, between the two socks. But overall, I still think they look really good. I still have to go in and sew the little black eyes on the shrimp. Maybe I'll make myself do that later today so they can like officially be like done. But yeah, super pleased. These have helical stripes throughout the rest of the sock. And I did not follow the pattern, like the sock recipe pattern itself. I followed the colorwork chart, but I didn't follow the rest of the pattern because previous Rachel just really wanted to go rogue. So this is a cuff down, heel flap and gusset pattern, and previous Rachel decided it would be better to do a toe up fish lips kiss heel. And so when I went to pick this second sock up and I read the pattern and then realized I didn't follow the pattern, but I did leave notes for myself. So that was a lot of fun. Took a little time to figure out and try to remember what I did. Luckily it all worked out. And I have the cutest stinking shrimp socks ever, and they are Shimply the best. Yarn for these, the white is just Cascade Heritage, and the pink is Universal Threads, Universal Yarns, something like that. My local yarn store carried that brand. It's not my favorite. Like, I don't think I'd intentionally buy it again. Like, there's nothing wrong with it, but it was just like very splitty, I felt like, and I don't know, I just don't love it. And I have other sock yarns that I do love. So like worked fine in the pinch. The color is really pretty. You know, love these socks, but I probably won't buy that yarn again intentionally. I do not have a Ravelry page for these because I was so, I didn't really do Ravelry pages a year ago. I hadn't really figured out how to like really do that and keep up with that. And also it's been so long that I don't, yeah, no Ravelry page for these, but super excited to have these done. And like color work is improving. These are definitely a little wonky, but like definitely passable. Some of the floats in here were really long and I did not catch my floats because I don't like it when you catch floats and then the color peeks through. That drives me nuts. And so luckily like it worked out in here, but I think once I finally start my first colorwork sweater, I'm either gonna have to do like learn ladder back to card or find a way to like catch floats where it doesn't peek through so that I can have just a little bit more, I don't know, regularity in my colorwork, better tension, all those things. So shrimp socks are done. That's sock 2 check marked for sock boot camp. Third pair of socks for sock boot camp. They're not blocked, so they're a little, you know, squiggly and all that, but they're just a vanilla pair of socks. Nothing special, but I cast them on like a year ago and then never finished them for no good reason. So the contrast color here is Nitpick Stroll, and I believe the colorway Patina. Again, there's no Ravelry project page for these. I generally don't make project pages for vanilla socks because it's just a vanilla sock and I don't do anything I feel that's exciting or worth documenting really. My go-to favorite Forethought heel, and the fun colorful yarn was a fun random find from Joann's back when they were still open, RIP. And yeah, so that's just a random skein of fun sock yarn that was at Joann's. So these just need to be blocked. I did 2x2 rib at the top. These were also a toe up sock. And so I did a stretchy bind off at the rib. I think I finally found the stretchy bind off that I like. I'm gonna try to show you guys here. Like it doesn't flare too much when it's not stretched, but then it still has good stretch. Because the Jenny's surprisingly super stretchy bind off, I don't love because I feel like it flares a lot. And so with these I did, like I don't know what the name for the bind off's called, so I'll just like explain what I do for it. You knit your first 2 stitches normally, and then you put those stitches back on the left needle and you knit those 2 stitches through the back loop. So then you have 1 stitch on your right needle, and then you knit the next stitch. You have 2 stitches on your right needle, put them on the left needle, knit them through the back loop, and you like do that all the way around. And I feel like it looks really nice, has good stretch, doesn't flare too much. And so right now that's kind of my go-to stretchy bind off for toe up socks. So that is the 3rd pair of socks for sock boot camp. Sock boot camp has been going really well. These still need to be blocked, so maybe I'll wash and block these later today. While they're blocking, I'll sew on the eyes for my shrimp socks and they can be like officially done. And I can stick them in my sock box. So I only have 2 more socks on the needles. I have not worked on them, so I'm not really gonna talk about them, but they're my registry socks with the gifted sock yarn from my friend Teresa, and my polka dot socks with my Utah trip yarn that was a disaster. So those are, I'm still in sock boot camp, but I'm feeling a little less like stressed about it. And not, stressed not a good word, I wasn't stressed about it, but I'm feeling a little less like urgent about needing to work on my socks. I still want to. Ideally, I'd love to have another finished sock at least, if not 2, before the next podcast. So those are still like on my list of things to do. Maybe I'll take it to work with me to like work on my lunch breaks, that kind of thing. But sock boot camp has gone well, and 2 more socks, and then sock boot camp will commence by the end of August. So that's been super fun. So those are all 4 of my finished objects. 1 sweater, cardigan, and 3 socks. Super pleased with that. And now we're gonna get into whips. I have really only 3 whips to show you guys, and one of them previously was not a whip and it's already almost finished. So let's go ahead and start with that one because it's super fun. and it's so cute. The cutest little baby sweater ever that's striped. Now, I know baby knits aren't for like everyone, so I'll make sure to put like little like things at the bottom of the bar to like separate the timing. So if you're not interested in hearing about this, you can just skip on to the next one. So this is the Seaside sweater. It's a petite knit pattern, and it has the cute little like split yoke so that you can put the buttons there so it's easier to get over big baby heads. This is for my friend Macy and her baby Lane, who is turning 1 in October, and I wanted to knit him a sweater for his first birthday, and green and cream is what I went for, and he's a redhead baby, so I think this is just gonna be so stinking cute on him. And I just have one sleeve left to do. I'm gonna finish this today. Like, I'm gonna finish this today. I would love to even get this washed and blocked by the end of today. It's Sunday, August 2nd. And so to already have this as a finished object for August will be super exciting. I was worried I wasn't gonna like get this done in time, but I cast this on Tuesday, July, whatever that was, 28th, 29th, something like that. And today is Sunday the 2nd, and I'm gonna finish it today. So like 4 days of knitting. I knit the size 2 to 3 years old. I use the recommended needle size. The yarn I'm using for this is Cascade Heritage. This isn't the color, but this is the Cascade Heritage stock yarn, and I held double. So the green color, I believe, is dark mossy green, either dark moss or mossy green. And then the kind of cream color is called limestone. It's not really like, it's cream, but it's not. I don't know how to really describe that to you, but so this has been super quick knit, super fun. So excited to give this to Macy/Lane for his upcoming first birthday party in October. And yeah, I would recommend the pattern, and I would definitely like knit this pattern again for future like baby knit gifts that I need to do. Super easy, super fun. Like, yeah, have been having a blast, and it works up so fast being a baby knit. And like for me, being like wearing larger sizes, sweaters take a long time for me to knit, and so like getting through this so quickly was like just the hit of dopamine I needed. And so then that's been really fun. So that's New Whip. That's gonna be a finished object later today. I almost waited filming till later in the day so this could be a finished object, but I was like, nah, we need to film and move on with the day and kind of get things done. So that's whip number 1. Whip number 2, sorry, some of this stuff is on like the table you guys are on, so hopefully you don't shake too much, is my Richland shawl, which I am doing as a knit along with my friend Teresa. I am knitting this up in Trilogy Yarn Silky Yak, so it's Merino Silk Yak blend in the color Aqua. So pretty. I am halfway or more than halfway through the chart repeats in the main chart. I don't want to like give, it's paid patterns, like I don't want to give like anything away. But like I'm in the main chart repeat where you repeat as many times for how big you want to make it. And I'm about halfway through that one, but I think that's just for the small size. And so I'm going to do some extra repeats to make the larger size. So I made some really good progress on this. This is so fun. This has become such an easy knit. I love lace. Lace is so much easier than it looks. I think I've talked about this before when I knit my sorbet sweater, and then the lace scarf that I knit for Teresa for Christmas last year, the leaflet scarf. Yeah, if you're at all interested in lace but you feel intimidated by it, please don't. Like, it's genuinely so easy once you actually like get in it. It's just like some yarn overs, some decreases, some increases. Like, this would be, I think, a beginner friendly lace shawl project. Super simple. There's 2 stitches that are kind of different. There's this little star stitch in here, which is a knit 3 together, yarn over, knit 3 together. She has like tutorials for it in her pattern. And then there's also like a little twisted stitch that borders the lace that she also has a little tutorial for. So this would be very beginner friendly, I feel like, if you want to venture into lace knitting or you want to knit a shawl. Yeah, really enjoying this. Instructions are very clear, well written. It's written and charted. And the designer is D. O'Keefe, if I didn't state that. And D. O'Keefe, I believe, is like solely a shawl designer from what I remember looking through the Ravelry charts. But so tons of others to choose from if you're so inclined. So that's plugging right along. It's become, like I said, kind of a mindless knit, even though it's not like stockinette, but I now like have memorized the chart repeat basically. Like I still look at it to kind of remind myself of some things, but it's a very easy repeat. I can watch TV, listen to an audiobook, podcast, whatever. Like I don't have to have like my full focus attention while working on it, which is really nice. Okay. My next whip, which I don't think has been shown on the channel in a while, it's a long time whip. It's my Mussleburgh. It's almost there. We're so close, guys. So I cast this on right before Christmas in 2024 on the road trip to the Oregon coast where we were going to spend Christmas. And it made for a great like stockinette project on the road and just to kind of work on sporadically when I've needed some like boring stockinette. I say boring, but I love like plain stockinette projects. So I think it's boring. I should say like simple or easy because I do enjoy it. So anyways, Mussleburgh by Isolde Teague. This is my first time knitting it. I've been enjoying it. The cast on was definitely like a little tricky, but like once you get going, and there's so many YouTube videos, tutorials for the cast on itself, which I found really helpful. I think I used Nitty Natty's crochet cast on, if I remember correctly, but I also don't have a Ravelry page for this one either. I'm sorry guys, I'm getting better about it. When I start new projects, I am starting Ravelry pages, but my older ones don't always have them. So, but there's a ton of other project pages for Mussleburghs. If you're interested in knitting it, the main color, super gorgeous, amazing speckly yarn here and all the perfect mermaid colors that I love, is again Sweet Tea Yarn / Molly Klein design. I think this was in the colorway like Siren Song, Mermaid Days, something like that. I sadly ran out, which I kind of expected would happen based off my gauge. So I'm just using some Knit Pick Stroll that was in my sock yarn stash in the color Frost, in the color Frost, just this really like light blue. This is gonna be the inside of the hat, so it doesn't really matter, but I definitely didn't want it to be a color that would like peek through, or if it did, then it wouldn't be noticeable. So just this really light blue. And I think I have like 1 or 2 more inches of stockinette, and then I can finally finish or start the crown decreases and finish this. It has been on my needles for so long, which is fine. Like it was intentionally gonna kind of be a background stockinette project. So I'm excited to have it almost done though. I have enjoyed this, but I don't know that I would knit another fingering weight Mussleburgh just because of like how long it takes. Like if I'm gonna knit a fingering weight project, is probably gonna be socks more likely. I'm also not a huge hat wearer. So like I'm gonna be glad to have this because it's good to have like 1 or 2. But if I were to knit another one, I think I would do DK weight and like read her instructions, stuff for the change of gauge. And I would knit it as a gift for someone else. Like, so still an enjoyable knit, but I'd probably do DK weight and just do it for someone else. So that is the Mussleburgh update. That is all of my current active whips. If you are a long-time viewer, not even a long time, but you know, watch some of my other previous podcasts, you're like, Rachel, what about the tank top? What about the second sample of the swing tank? Well, the truth is that I haven't touched it since the last episode, which I hadn't even touched it then really. I have just kind of lost, motivation and interest in it, and like I still want to finish it, but I'm just not motivated to like work on it right now. And like knitting is my hobby, it's what I do for fun. Like I'm still a full-time student, I'm working, like life is busy, this is what I do for joy, and like if I'm not feeling it, I need to like, I'm not a full-time knitwear designer, I'm not trying to make money off of this. Like I do want to finish the pattern and publish it, but like just for fun. Like I'm not expecting to get much out of it, like from a financial thing. like emotionally and like all that, like, yeah, I'll get something out of it for sure. But so this guy's just kind of taking a back burner, and I'm just letting it take a back burner. Like, I don't want to force it. I don't want to hate working on it. Like, that's not what it's about. So on the back burner, I will come back to it. It will come back around. It will get finished. I will eventually publish a pattern. I've had enough people ask for it, especially on my TikTok. So it's coming. It's just coming very slowly. So those are all of my whips, guys. And we are 25 minutes into this. I feel like I'm impressed. I feel like usually it takes a lot longer than that, but also 3 of my finished objects were socks, and there's only so much to talk about with socks. So moving on then to acquisitions and future plans. So I'm going to start with the future plan, and my acquisitions are real small. So I cast on a gauge swatch for this gorgeous cabled sweater. This is for the Front Porch Sweater by, don't remember the name. I'll stick it down here in the notes so you know where to look for it. Yeah, super pleased with this gauge swatch. It's stunning. And I hit gauge exactly. What? Who is she? Who is she? And I am using Drops Lima in the colorway 9018. I don't remember what the name is. Maybe Deep Sea. It's definitely like a dusty tealy kind of color. Super pretty. Definitely, you know, blues, greens, cool tones are my shades, my colors. Yeah, really pleased with how this swatch came out. Super excited to cast this on. I've been wanting to cast it on since I finished the gauge swatch, but then the baby sweater thing, like, I decided to do it, bought the yarn arrived, cast on, already almost finished. So that's where most of my time has been this last week, as well as putting some good rosin on my shawl. So I've kind of been holding off on this so that I make good progress on my other things, but like, I'm so ready to cast this on. I am so ready for fall. I'm tired of the hot weather. I'm tired of being sweaty. I want to wear something other than linen. Like, don't get me wrong, I love my linen clothes, but I'm like, I'm ready for cozy season. I want hot coffee and sweaters. So I am bringing on fall with this. I'm imagining it. So I want to cast this on. I don't know when. I will definitely cast this on before the next podcast episode though. So I don't remember what needles I used, but it was the recommended that I hit gauge with. I will start a Ravelry project page with this and actually keep appropriate notes and updates in it. So you can look forward to that and not hearing me say, I don't know. Other future planned cast on is, and I bought this yarn last year. Hold on guys, let me get situated here. All right, so this is Knit Picks Chroma in fingering weight. It's got this really pretty variegated blue in frosted window and white. I got 2 skeins of each. This was for, I think, their Black Friday sale last year. Or maybe not, somewhere's around like the holiday season last year, November, December-ish. I got the Knit Picks catalog in the mail, and my mom saw this pattern, double knit gorgeous snowflake scarf. Sorry for the glare because it's in plastic. And she was like, I need that. And I love my mother, and she is majorly knit worthy. If you are a friend and you know her, you know this is accurate. So I bought the yarn and I bought the pattern. I said, okay, I'll make this for you next year for Christmas. Well, it's August, and this is a double knit long scarf on like 2.75 millimeter needles. So if I actually have any intentions of finishing this in time for Christmas for my mother, we need to cast this on stat and also learn how to do colorwork double knitting, because never done that before. So at least I've done double knitting before with the button band on my step-by-step cardigan. That worked out really well. But yeah, need to learn how to do this, cast this on. I'm still excited for this. I think it's gonna be stunning. It's gonna be a really fun new skill to learn. Colorwork is one of the things I wanna kind of tackle this year a little bit, and double knitting was also one of them. So this is a 2-for-1 kind of. And I think once I start seeing the like pattern appear, it'll hopefully get very potato chippy. But I know that this is gonna be a long haul project and I need to like get a move on. So I would like to cast this on maybe towards the end of August is what I'm thinking. So that at least we can get this started, learn the techniques I need to learn, and then just start slowly like chipping away at it. Because I really don't want to like disappoint my mom and like not actually have this done in time for Christmas. You know, like I've told her I would do it, and so I really want to do that. So those are my current future plans. There's of course plenty of others simmering in the background, but those are the immediate ones. And then I just have 2 acquisitions for you. So one of them, the yarn I bought for the baby sweater that's already basically out of stash. When I made that purchase, I also bought Cascade Heritage in just like their white or cloud cream kind of color, so that I could start a sweet shop blanket. So this isn't gonna be immediate cast on. This is at some point before the end of the year. I think I wanna start the sweet shop blanket. I've been acquiring, especially as I've actually been finishing my socks, some sock scraps, and I love that the sweet shop blanket has this like cream white color as like a base for everyone. Like it just like grounds it a little bit. Like the mitered square blankets that are all scrappy, I love them, they're super cute, but they're also a little like maybe too chaotic for me. I don't know. And so I like that the sweet shop blanket has that little bit of like grounding to it, something to like, I don't know if that's making any sense, but I bought white yarn. I'm gonna hold this double because I'm gonna do it at a DK weight gauge. So all of my sock scraps I will hold double, and I will hold this double. I bought, I believe, 10 skeins, question mark ish. And so then I will just put these in a like large project bag and then start stashing my like sock scraps in there too. And then when I feel ready to cast on, I can just grab that and get going on that. So I think that'll be a cozy thing to work on this winter, and especially into like January, February next year. The only other, oh wait, there's one more. Hold on, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So I graduated in May, and one of my graduation presents was a yarn subscription for sock yarn. So every month I would get a fun indie dyed skein of sock yarn. So I initially, I'm so sorry guys, I get excited and then I talk too fast and my words come out all jumbled, I apologize. Initially signed up for Yarnable, and the first colorway that I got, I think I talked about in my last episode, I was still kind of like, it's okay, like, but I never would have bought it in a store, so, you know, like, it's fine. Yarn is super soft, just the colorway I was like not super thrilled about. And then the July colorway came, and I had very similar feelings. This falls so incredibly flat for me. It's so meh. Like there's the tiniest bit of variegation in there, but it's mostly just like a tonal variegation. Like it's pink, but it's not even like a pretty pink. It just feels like a dirty pink. I don't know. I'm disappointed for the second month. So I canceled my Yarnable. I'm still gonna end up getting the August because then I forgot to cancel it. And so I'm still gonna get August at some point in the next week or two. Hopefully I'm a little more excited about that one, but it is now canceled. I will not be receiving any more after I get the August one. But I still really wanted a sock subscription. And so I signed up for Farmer's Daughter's Fiber sock subscription, and I've really wanted to try their yarn. I follow them on Instagram. I'm super excited. They have some really fun bases. They have some beautiful white colors. And so I signed up for their sock squad, and this is the August colorway. So if you haven't gotten yours yet or you don't want to see it, don't look. This is stunning. This is what I wanted. This is what this is the clear winner here for me personally, right? Like this is very blah. This is stunning. Also, this is a little bit cheaper and it comes with a 20 gram mini. So that's a win-win. And with Farmer's Daughter's Fibers, they cycle through, I think they have three different sock bases. One that's like traditional superwash merino nylon, one that's a little more rustic with like a BFL instead of merino, and then there's a third one that I don't remember the blend of. So they have 3 different blends, sock bases, that they cycle throughout the year, and you get a mini, and the color is stunning. So I am so pleased with this. I'm so excited. I think I'm gonna make this one of my August sock cast-ons. Of course, after I finish my other 2 socks, of course. So that is my only other acquisition. Super excited about this. I have canceled my Yarnable subscription. Like the yarn's super soft, so I'm not gonna say I don't recommend it, but like the colors were just not for me. I'm not excited about them. And I'm like, why am I spending money on something I'm not excited about? This, super excited about. This is gonna make a super cute, I think, fall pair of socks. I'm a little tempted. I love this mini, but I'm a little tempted to do a more fall, like some kind of tan or brown or a dusty purple, something to make it maybe a little more fall, whereas this I feel like makes it a little more summery. Like it is technically August, but I'm ready for fall, like I said. So that is everything I have to talk about with you guys, and we're at 36 minutes. Not an obnoxiously long one, yay. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad that you enjoy my content. And I hope you guys have a fabulous day, and I will see you guys next time.